Hey guys, Alcorn here. This is my first video on the game Dominus. I considered doing a tutorial on village placement, but there are already 2 videos on that on YouTube, and until I get around to covering villages myself, you can watch Johnny Zero's tutorial on that. Link in the description below.
This is the beginning of a 3-part series on the mechanics of the 5 different units in Dominus: footmen, archers, pikemen, cavalry, and catapults. Yes, they all look the same on the screen. There are 3 basic aspects to any unit you control: power, movement, and bonus. Today we're going to look at power. All the units cost the same amount of resources, 18 grain and 100 of another type, so no one unit is really more powerful than any other. They just have different strengths and weaknesses that balance each other out. Now, before I start, I need to make one thing very clear. There are 2 types of units, offensive and defensive. Footmen, cavalry, and catapults are offensive, and archers and pikemen are defensive. Think of these units like a sword and shield in a hand-to-hand sword fight. When you want to attack your opponent, you wouldn't try to hit him with your shield, you'd swing with your sword. When you want to defend against something from him, you'd block it with your shield, not your sword. Of course, you can counterattack his sword with your sword, but that takes an offensive move. That being said, all units have 2 types of power. Offense power is used when they are attacking, and defense power is used when they are defending. Simple enough. Let's look at our offensive units first, and then the defensive ones. Footmen have a base power of 13 offense and 13 defense. They are strong against pikemen and do poorly against archers and cavalry. At first this may seem unfairly strong compared to the other units, but the fact that they are somewhat slow-moving units, and that 2 units get a bonus against them, the 2 13 powers suddenly don't seem all that great. We'll go in depth into the math behind all the bonuses in another video, so all you need to know right now is that footmen are strong against pikemen, and weak against archers and cavalry. Cavalry have a base power of 13 offense and 5 defense. They are good against both footmen and archers, but are terrible against pikemen. However, the fact that they have 13 offense power, get a bonus against 2 units, and are the fastest moving unit in the game, make them the most used, if not the most useful unit. This is why you almost always see that wool is very expensive in the market compared to other resources. Again, the market will be covered in another video, but here it's just important to know that cavalry are good against footmen and archers, and very weak against pikemen. Catapults are a very different kind of unit. Their base power when defending and when attacking units in the open field is 1, but when they attack buildings, castles, villages, or capitals, 30 power is added to their offense power of 1, making their total offense power 31 when attacking buildings. No units get a bonus against catapults, and they have a power of 31 when attacking buildings. Keep in mind that with equal amounts of defensive units, footmen and cavalry each get about 22 attack after bonuses are considered. This might seem strong for catapults, but this is easily offset by the fact of their near useless field strength of 1 offense and 1 defense, but also the fact that they are the slowest units in the game, being 5 times slower than cavalry. Now that we've looked at the offensive units, let's check out the defensive units. Archers have a base power of 5 offense and 15 defense. They are strong against footmen and weak against cavalry. Not much can be said about archers. Because of their decent defense power and the fact that they are the first unit new villages can create, archers can be pretty helpful in a pinch. For example, if you think someone might be attacking your village and their army is just barely strong enough to beat it, you can hire a few archers and now it's safe from that attack. I could go into more detail about strategies for specific units as well as hiring units in villages in another video, but for now, just know that archers are good against footmen and bad against cavalry. Pikemen have a base power of 2 offense and 17 defense. They are very strong against cavalry, but weak against footmen. These are the second most used unit after cavalry, specifically because they counter cavalry. Their 2 offense makes them junk when attacking anything, though with their bonus they are evenly matched with cavalry. So it would be a bad idea... No. You probably shouldn't... No. You should never... No. Just never, ever, 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 ever... Sorry. Never attack with pikemen unless you have a good reason. I hesitate to add that last part because it is a rare instance when attacking with pikemen is actually useful. That being said, pikemen are extremely useful when it comes to defense. They have a base defense power of 17, and they have a bonus against cavalry, the most common offensive unit. This makes pikemen the most useful defensive unit. It takes 5 cavalry just to overpower 1 single pikeman in a castle or village, and even footmen, which get a bonus against pikemen,
are not quite evenly matched against pikemen in a castle. And those were the defensive units. Now let's wrap things up. For our offensive units, we have footmen get 13 offense power and 13 defense. They are good against pikemen, but bad against archers and cavalry. Cavalry have 13 offense and 5 defense. They are good against footmen and archers, but bad against pikemen. Catapults have 1 offense power and 1 defense, so they are bad against open field units and bad for defending period, but they do get plus 30 against buildings. For our defensive units, archers have 5 offense power and 15 defense. They are good against footmen, but bad against cavalry. Pikemen have 2 offense power and 17 defense. They are good against cavalry, but bad against footmen. So I hope that helped you guys understand better how the unit power works. I touched a little on the bonuses each unit gets, but I'll go more into detail on the bonuses in another video. If you have any questions about the units individually, please ask in the comments below, and I'll do my best to answer those questions when I eventually get around to doing videos on each unit on its own. Also, if I get enough requests for a specific topic, I'll do a video on that after this series on unit mechanics. Until then, this is Alicorn signing out. Keep playing, and never give up.